and today we are going to talk about the value of a question. And I'm going to start with a little story about a question and how it changed an industry. In 1965, the Florida Gators had a losing streak. They could not win a game. Now they were excellent in practice, but they could not pull it together on the field. Well, their coach had had enough. As you know, football is serious. And he decided to gather all the industry researchers from the college and come up with a solution to the reason why his team could not make it to the end of the game. Now the researchers got together, they found out that the team was suffering from heat stroke. They could not re-electrify themselves with energy, and they could not keep their liquids in place. So the researchers got together and created a drink that we know as Gatorade. Gatorade became so popular that it became known as the drink of choice in 70 college football arenas. Now, Gatorade was produced locally until 1983. And in 1983, Quaker Oats decided they wanted to be part of the beverage business. They bought from this teeny little manufacturer, they bought Gatorade for $220 million. Can you believe it? $220 million. Now, Quaker kept Gatorade for a long period of time, and then Pepsi decided that Gatorade should be their drink. You know, they tried a drink, and it failed. So they went to Quaker and they said, we want to purchase you. We want to purchase Gatorade. We need it in our beverage portfolio. And Quaker said, no way. It's making us a lot of money. We're not going to give it up. So what did Pepsi do? Pepsi bought out Quaker Oats for $13 billion. So what is the value of a question? All right, so how does this relate to me? How does it relate to you? How does it relate to all of our staff? Questions are the lifeblood of our business. How do we get anywhere? How do we? By asking questions. So I want you to think about something. What do you think of when you hear the word order taker? Does anyone have an idea? I cringe. You cringe. What else?
Someone who's passive.
Passive. I was thinking about this morning, and I thought about a waitress. You know, she sits there with a pad, you know, tell me what it is. So we don't really get anywhere when we're order takers, do we? We're trying to be consultants. And what are consultants by definition? They are advice seekers, they are knowledgeable, they give information. Well, how do we get this information? We get the information by asking questions. And we don't just ask yes or no questions, we have to ask questions of value. So today I wanted to just go over a few ideas I have for you guys to look at asking the right questions. First, are you paying attention to the obvious? So whether we are looking at our vendors or our sales reps are paying attention to their customers, are they really paying attention? Are they listening to what's being said? Two, are they complimenting with a question? Does anyone know what this means? Can anyone give me an example of asking a question with a compliment? Yes, they are. Good, but I'm going to give you a better example. And that is, let's just say you see an advertisement for a company, right? You see their advertisement, it's amazing. So you give them a call, you pick up the phone and you say, hey Terry, I saw your advertisement in Valpak. I can't believe how beautiful your cabinets are. Would you like to get more business by being in our show? Right? So we've complimented them and then we've asked a question. It's a very tricky trait, but if you learn, the customer already feels like, wow, somebody's paying attention to me and I think my cabinets are really cool and maybe the idea they have to say is really good. Three, are you building relationships? How many people think relationships are important? Right? So how do we build relationships? Do we just talk about ourselves? because I'm sure that doesn't really work. Because we like to talk about ourselves, but in order for us to actually build a relationship where we connect, we have to be building relationships and asking questions. And the very most important question, especially for our reps, are we asking for the self? So I love this quote. It says, you get 100% of what you don't ask for. How many of us have been afraid to ask a question? How many of us today have sat in this room and said, I'd really like to ask that question, but I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look funny. I don't want to look uneducated. I don't really want to ask because they're going to say no. Right? How many of us have done that? Right. We get 100% of what we don't ask for. So today what I want to do is challenge you to ask questions, because we may not know when our questions have value. And who knows, we could ask a question that could change our industry.